I was told that my BF is cheating on me with his co-workers. Even though he's only been there for 2 months. My BF just got a new job. My dad works there and has been there forever. My BF is on night shifts and I am on day shift. This has been a huge change in our relationship and lifestyle. Because of this, we have been arguing more than usual. I just got off work and noticed my mom parked next to me at my work. She and my dad I got in a Facebook message from a girl that's on third shift with my BF. And she told them that he had been very inappropriate with her and other women as well as texting other women. She also told them that she told my BF's supervisor at work about the situation. In the heat of the moment, I am sitting there, crying believing everything she is reading to me. She gives me great advice, but ultimately tells me I can choose whatever I want to with this and she will support me either way. I went home to confront my BF about it. Mind you, he was just asleep. He always wakes up when I get home. At first he's a little disoriented and he's not sure what I am really talking about. I'm also being pretty aggressive because I am so surprised by this. He completely denies everything. He didn't even recognize the girl because he's only talked to her twice as they were walking by each other. He even started to get mad towards his job because he has been working insanely hard since my dad got him this job. After talking to my boyfriend about the situation, I feel better, and I don't feel like it's the truth. We share phones, he doesn't even know his Apple ID password. I even looked through all of his apps, text, photos, and anything else that I was unfamiliar with. I also don't know why she felt the need to message my parents, but not me. I am listed on their Facebook as their daughter, and she knows my name and even mentioned it in the message. I should also mention that this is a warehouse environment. Most people get hired on for either being related to someone or knowing somebody very well that is employed there. There's that saying that you should never hire family because of all the drama it can cause. My dad is very high up and has been there 20 plus years. I am concerned that people are only doing this because my dad is how he got hired. However, this is such an odd situation, and I've never dealt with somebody accusing somebody of something this horrendous. But I can't stop thinking, what if it's true? We have been together for 11 years. In that time he was only unfaithful once. All he did was message a girl he thought was cute. Literally after 2 days he came to me crying to tell me what he did. My BF literally has no social media after that incident, but he never really had it before, not even when we were teenagers. He's not very tech savvy and doesn't enjoy stuff like that. How would I go about find out if these accusations are true? What do I even do? He is asking for my support because a couple of the guys up at work that hang out with that girl keep giving him dirty looks, even called me crying on his break because he feels so singled out and doesn't know what to do. I can't 100% support him if there's some doubt in my mind. I just need some guidance. Comment. The drama is already there. Do you think this will stop when she realizes that you don't believe her? If your BF is innocent and she tried something like this, who knows what she'll comes up with next? Take the whole thing to HR. Either she can show proof for her accusations or there will be consequences for her. Besides that, then there is an official note about the incident. You can't really judge most people based on their social media though. People always make their lives seem so much better and different than reality on them. The fact that she said that he's doing so off these things, like the inappropriate texts, without showing screenshots as proof is something you should pay attention to. Ask her for the evidence. If she can't provide it, I would say your boyfriend is in the clear. Also, is your BF an intelligent guy? Because he would have to be a crayon-eating fool to conduct himself that way at a job where your dad got him hired, and is high up in the chain of command. He should go to HR. If several women have messages from him, then there will be proof he did it. If he didn't message anyone, then she'll have to face the consequences of the lie. His job and relationship are in jeopardy. He should want to do whatever he can to fix this. He needs to go to HR and inform them of the harassment and the hostility from other co-workers on behalf of her. It is harassment. He needs to cover his ass since he's still in the probationary period. Also, he has a right to know what she reported about him. If he didn't do this, he can bring screenshots of messages from this girl to your parents to HR and explain the situation. You've said he doesn't want more trouble, but it sounds like he's already got a target on his back and that this may be some sort of retaliation towards your father since BF hasn't been there long. This is, of course, if he isn't doing this. With these kinds of accusations, the very worst thing he can do for himself if he actually hasn't done anything is to sit still and remain silent and let her continue talking. Pretty simple. There's your answer. No need for any speculation at all, she said that your BF has been texting other women. Her accusation is that there is literal, written proof. So provide the proof. Unless your boyfriend of 11 years is the absolute dumbest person alive, I find it incredibly hard to believe that he would be texting other women given the level of phone sharing you two have together. She said there were texts, you share his phone, a little detail she obviously didn't know, already went through it, yeah she needs to produce those texts immediately. But not to you. A Facebook message to your dad making those claims is grossly inappropriate workplace behavior. Your dad is the one who received the message, your dad is the one that needs to follow up with the supervisor she claims she made the report with. It's been over a week and nothing has been said to your BF, which means 1, the supervisor didn't do their job, 2, the supervisor did their job and there is nothing inappropriate, or 3, she is outright lying. The company needs to determine which of those things happened before you make any decisions. Either she provided the proof she claims she had in the Facebook message, or she didn't. No point in guessing, the recipient of the message needs to ask. Next story 2. IMA with a BF. He accused me of cheating after I went out for 2 hours. How do I communicate to my partner that I am not a cheater? I told my BF before I left that I wanted to meet new people. He's fixated that I cheated on him in that time frame and says he doesn't trust me. He called me 23 times and 50-some messages. I felt in that moment afraid but messaged him back. I made the mistake of not picking his call up but I felt a few hours should be okay, right? I also made mistake by not knowing exact details, but again I felt we should be able to trust each other, especially because I told him before I left. He threw my stuff out in living room, burned old photos, cut up our photos and punched the bathroom mirror. He was so drunk he pissed on the floor. He also grabbed me roughly and threw my clothes at me. He swat water bottles out of my hand and was so scary. I was afraid to show my phone because he might destroy it too until he calmed down and I moved from Cali to Florida to be with him. I did show him the conversation multiple times until he told me to delete the contact and conversation. Now he's demanding I find a way to recover the deleted messages, but it's gone. Cleared recently, deleted, just want it to be over. He also demanded to look at my body for marks and my clothes. I have no friends or family and that was the first time I ventured out a bit to meet new people and he went crazy. He has then shown he can go out all day but I can't say anything, and he can go to a friend's place but I don't know where he is. Yet he says I made him violent and deserve this treatment. That I am the bad person. It has been like this for a whole week. I thought we were able to move on and learn from it, but he demands to see a conversation that's gone, that I did show. He also made rules for me and lies that I didn't do but make sense to him. He says his demands to build trust are non-negotiable and non-compromising. He also knows he got me pregnant, we just find out. He was mean about it but offered a clinic, but has even mentioned trying to get me pregnant. This will be the second time in a year. I don't really know what to do, I'm alone in this state far from home. I'm afraid he'll destroy my things if I leave. He says he wants to break up because I went for a few hours but he moved me to Florida. I didn't go out to break his heart or try to tear us apart. I just wanted to be able to feel like I have my own life, but I guess it's not okay cause again he went and destroyed my things. I have no desire to cheat and things he says I lied about to me do not make logical sense. Feeling lonely and emotional. He left me alone at home RN but I feel lost. He says I don't want to work on relationship but I've been home all week, what can I do? I don't want a relationship where we go through each other's phones. I feel moving alone from another state should show I'm serious. Edit, it has been a week. My concerned friend contacted me from another number so I gave it to him to have and verify for non-cheating and to ask questions. He says he wants deleted messages. They can't be recovered. He has isolated me during my pregnancy and continues to call me names. I don't know how to resolve. Comment. I'll be honest, you are not safe. Do not have a baby with him. You're being abused, he will hurt you one day. Tell your family, move back home to them. This was his reaction to you simply going out? This will never be the loving, safe relationship you want. Please, I know it's scary but pack up your things and leave whilst he's at work. If needed, call a women's shelter and go to them. I can't stress this enough, you will never be safe, and he will eventually hurt you. This, Op mentioned he was already used intimidation tactics associated with domestic abuse, he is mere days or weeks away from hurting them. I hope they can find a way to leave and find peace from this man. There is no communicating that with him. You are being manipulated and abused, and your replies are very concerning. Nobody in their right mind is going to give you advice on salvaging this abusive relationship, but it seems that's all you're looking to hear. I understand you believe he isn't really like this because he didn't allow that aspect of himself to show right off. Nobody would get involved if they did. This is textbook abusive behavior. Stop seeking to calm him and seek to save yourself instead before this really gets dangerous. Please leave. I felt like I was reading my sister's story all over again. Her ex-boyfriend got her pregnant to trap her, and once he became incredibly violent. He would accuse her of cheating, but was actually the one that was cheating and was using her car to drive around and do so, leaving her at the house to basically just wait until he decided to come back. She told me about one instance when she was 6 months pregnant with their first child. He accused her of saying another man's name in her sleep and beat on her from 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. Her work called looking for her, and she had to lie and say she couldn't come in because his car wasn't working. A month after the baby was born, he kicked her out of their apartment and she came to stay with me until she decided to go back. He would get mad at her for being at work and would come up to her job with the baby, making a scene and leaving the baby behind for my sister to deal with, on her shift. My sister is a nurse in a hospital. It doesn't get any better. Please. Please. Please love yourself enough to leave now. Take whatever is of the utmost sentimental value to you and leave the rest. You can always buy more stuff. I don't know what your plans are in terms of the pregnancy. But do you really want to raise a child in that kind of environment? Because there's a high probability he'll turn on the child too. Please up, I am begging you to leave now. I don't want to scare you, but you need a big dose of reality. The number one cause of death for pregnant women in the US is homicide. The number one cause of death for pregnant women in the US is homicide. By their partner. He is controlling and abusive, and he will not change. He will not get better. There is nothing you can do to convince him. This will only get worse. You need to get out, and get out now. If you can borrow money from a family member or a friend to get back to California, do so. If not, go to a local women's shelter for resources. If you need help Googling resources, feel free to DM me. Your reassurance won't make a difference here. It's not about trust, this is him trying to control and isolate you. To make you believe that you can't live without him and that you don't need anyone else. He's done all of this to isolate you and make you completely dependent on him and him alone.